Okay, here we are at Summer Mountain Ranch. This is an experiment, putting the camera in here so that people can see. This is Summer Mountain Ranch, where my property is. I promised I would do the next show from the property. I just picked up the mail on the way in here, and there's actually one letter. No idea what's in it. Read it later when we get settled down in the campsite. Right now we'll just tool along in the car and we're heading up Summer Mountain Drive here. And this is near San Marcos. It's closer to Wimberley, where we are right now. And we'll take a left here. You can get an idea of how uninhabited this is. 177 properties out here, 5 acres or greater. No, I'm not selling any, they're all sold. But no one lives out here yet. I won't say that. There's about 10 houses either under construction or actually lived in right now. I think one of them's for sale. And I'll be building one pretty soon. Up ahead you might be able to see some cattle. Get closer to them. Turned out to be a beautiful day, by the way, for doing some videography and some puffy clouds in the sky. I'll try to get the sunset also and share that with you. So meanwhile, just sit back and enjoy the drive here. We're almost at my property. There's some other nice properties out here too, and at some point I'll probably do this. If it comes out alright, I'll do this and go on a little tour and show you some of the nicer properties, maybe even go on a hike. There's some nature trails out here, and I can share that with you. That would be an experience, going on a hike while you're sitting in your living room. Anyway, we're almost there. Friendly folks. Up the drive into what I call Anarchy Acres. My bike did something there. I have my bicycle with me, and I'm going to go for a little bike ride before we do our tape today. I've got my little driveway down. When I got out here, of course, there were no roads. Needed a four-wheel drive vehicle to get anywhere. I'll probably take you on a little tour of this property shortly here. We'll see what the view is like. Meanwhile, we'll just, now you're looking at where the house is going to go. We're going to be building a house here probably in a couple months. Oh, it looks like some deer sitting down up there. Can't tell if it's deer or just a piece of wood, big old stump or something. Probably the latter. It's a little early for the deer to be out here. So actually, I'm going to go up and park where the house is going to be. Nah, change my mind. I'll go back here, park here, because I'll be here till it gets dark, and it's easier to get the car in and out when I'm parked here. So we'll just right up here. Get a little bit of a view. You can see a cow too. And that's pretty much what's going to be my backyard. I'll try to pan slowly here. We'll be looking a little bit toward the sun. I hope that's not a problem. Looks like it's screwing up the auto exposure, but in any case, that's the view that I have right there. We'll go a little bit telephoto with it and see what happens. There you can see somebody's tool shed. It's one of the few houses out here. I'll back off just a little here. Just a nice hill country view where as far as the eye can see. We'll go back the other way. I'll wide out a little bit. Still getting used to this camera. We might get a little flare here going past where the sun is. Now you can see my car parked in what will be guest parking. And here we've done almost a 360. There we are. Now what we'll do, I'll just kind of hold the camera and we'll go for a short walk here. Walking toward what will be the backyard. Here you can see kind of an overgrown campfire site, which is going to be featured in a future version of this show. Let me throw this in the fire ring. And we'll just go back here. Maybe I can talk a little bit about some things I thought about since the last show. Hopefully the production values will get a little better as I go along. But I understand people being annoyed with my bird. And that's why I'm out here. You can probably hear some wild birds. I'm walking a little carefully because there's a lot of these dead, what used to be flowers, and they're very prickly, so I got shorts on. Well, here we are in the back. You can see the fence. There's a little deer trail there. Let me go over this way, and you can just make out the property marker for that corner of my property. Oops, I didn't quite get it. There it is, a white stake leaning on its side. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in wide angle. It's better for when I'm walking. And then here we're coming up toward the other side of the property. Actually, I have a name for this property. I call it Anarchy Acres. And we'll get into politics at some point, and I'll be able to explain to you why I'm big on anarchy. Most people think of anarchy as chaos and people with bombs and stuff like that, and that can be the case, but generally I think of anarchy as a very peaceful time when people don't need government to tell them what to do and whip them into shape, into somebody's view of what the world should be like. Anyway, I'm on my neighbor's property here. We have an agreement that we can walk all along here. It's not a problem. He hasn't built here yet anyway. In fact, he bought a shed that I had, and I can still use that. So we're good neighbors. So I can see that some other animals have been here. This is a little trail that deer and probably cattle also use. There's something in particular I may be able to show you where an animal got into trouble over here and ended up dying because of just one mistake. And that can happen in life too. So anyway, let's see, just take a little quick pan over here. You can see what my neighbor's view is. We'll go back a little ways. Have a nice shot there. Okay. Now we can see there's cactus growing. There's my shadow. Bad photography. Getting your shadow in. I hope this is coming out nice and sharp because I bought a accessory wide-angle lens, and I'm using that to get a little wider shot as we walk along. If this doesn't work, I'll have to reshoot this and take the wide-angle lens off, but I think it'll work. Not exactly steady cam. We've just crossed over to the next property over, and this is the property behind. It's actually a ranch of some kind. Well, it's being developed, so I don't know, somebody will probably live here eventually, but no one does yet. Sometimes there are people camping out. Now this is the second property over from mine. This is very nice. If we were to walk into this area, it's very kind of thick growth, but it looks like a state park or something. Very pretty. Well, I don't hear many birds at all. Maybe because I'm talking I might be scaring them away. Okay, we're crossing into another property here. And there's the animal, the remains of the animal that I wanted to mention. It's a little bit gory, so if you don't like dead things look away for now. I'll just zoom in on it here. That is the remains of a deer that got caught in the fence. Tried to leap the fence. One foot got caught, and the deer flipped over. I won't look at it real close, so you can look back at the TV now if you were looking away. But what happened was the deer just didn't quite make it and didn't have the tools to get out of the situation that he was in. And I say he because there are some horns on it. And kind of struggled there for a while, I guess, or maybe just died instantly. But it's a lesson to be learned to partly not to panic, and also that life is kind of tenuous. You can make one mistake and it's all over. But I try not to dwell on that. I mean, that being a fact, that being part of reality, it's time to, once you've accepted that, to think about other things and get on with life. This is, in its own way, I think, picturesque. This is another neighbor's windmill, and he kind of trashed it. That's interesting. You can zoom up pretty well even with the wide-angle attachment on. He left it on in a high wind. He didn't think about the high wind, and the windmill kind of beat itself to death. So something that could have been useful is now useless. And he's replaced it with that blue thing you see in the center of the picture, which is an electric well pump, which he'll use when he builds a house here anyway. But he's got, if he ever rebuilds that, that's going to cost him about $5,000. Well, we're just going to head back now, and so I'll turn off the camera, and you've got a sense for where I'm planning to live. Here we are again, coming back onto Anarchy Acres. You can once again hear some birds. I hope this comes out as nice as it looks in real life, because it's a very pleasant place to be. It's pretty hot today. I think it got up over 100, but it's after 6 o'clock now, so it's not too bad. I'm going to have to do a little mowing out here and get these stalks down. It'll be more pleasant to walk. Here we are. Back where we started, you see the tripod. There's our view again. Some birds singing up there. I don't know if we can see them. Here we are. Here we are. There's a deer. See it? Pretty far away, as you can see. There it is, walking away, alertly, ears up. It disappears into the woods. Heard me talking. And it's almost sunset here. I don't know if we can see any of the birds that are singing up here in Kittyland. Nice view of the mountains.